Good morning, Revelling Adventures. This is a very tired Mummy Revel coming to you from Pop Century one final time on our travel day. So we made the last minute decision that driving was so awful coming over here that we weren't 100% sure how James felt about going back to Tampa today. So we rang up Hertz and we used the online chat actually, and they were really helpful, and so he dropped the car back off at Hertz at Disney this morning. Took him about 10 minutes, and we have booked Orlando Magical Rides to take us back to the airport at Tampa today. It cost us $340, and we will give you some feedback on that a bit later on. So we are just about to check out of the room. It's a really simple process. There is a button on the app to do that. So again, I will give some feedback on that a little bit later on once we have completed the process. Obviously I have handed over to the girls for the last couple of days just so that you could have a bit of a different experience on their take on things, and also to give me a bit of a break because it's been harder this trip because we only had sort of 6 full days here. 5 park days and 1 water park day. So anyone who had their tickets extended because of Hurricane Milton, we got the 5 extra park days. But what we also had was on our tickets, it said that we had, when we got here, it said 47 water park days. And we were able to use one of those for the water parks, and it didn't count against our park days. So that was a bonus. We had a free water park day included in that. So anyway, we will keep you updated as we go along our travel day and keep you posted. Here we are in our taxi. It is really nice. It is Orlando Magical Rides. You can find them on Facebook. I will leave their details. It is a really nice air-conditioned taxi service, and with a call from the driver when he was outside the lobby and he was there waiting for us. And we're now heading our way over to the airport. As I said, I will keep you updated on our travel day as we get to the airport and hopefully have a hassle-free journey. But this time we are doing a connecting flight and we are going with Delta, so it's going to be a very different travel day for us. We're already exhausted. So I can't remember where we left off, but the face of exhaustion, the face of a very tired proxy. We are on a Delta flight to Cincinnati, which was not the plan at all. We were supposed to be Delta over to Atlanta and then Atlanta home. Our first flight got delayed, which meant that we would miss our connection. Absolute chaos over at Tampa Airport. The special assistance man told us that it was Labor Day weekend, so that was also why we hadn't been able to secure an upgrade on our flight. He said that people get Groupons, which is not something I'd ever heard of, but something to be aware of. So we went to he first of all marched us straight through security, so we couldn't speak to the people at the check-in desk. So he took us straight to the gate. He said that was the best place to go. Speak to the people at the gate, they'll be able to help you out. Get to the gate, no one there, one man. Speak to the man at the gate, and he's like, yeah, no, I can't help you. There's no space on this flight that I'm boarding to Atlanta. There's another one in about an hour, but you've got to go over there and use the phone. They might be able to help you. So James goes over to use the phone and I use the app. And kind of around about the same time, James gets offered some options on the app, and James got offered some stuff on the phone, I got offered some stuff on the app. All of the options were pretty poor. They all involved sitting at the airport we were at the airport. We kept saying to everyone that we're at the airport, dairy-free, just makes life easier. That was all accommodated. Anyway, long story short, it was an absolute mess. They rebooked us. We went and sat down. It came up on the app, and they rebooked us onto the wrong flights. We had to get back in touch with them. We are now heading to, I am saying the right place, aren't I? Cincinnati, Kentucky. So we are taking an absolute wild card now, because we are now going all the way over there in order to get on a British Airways flight, having never flown British Airways, having always flown Virgin, because we now do not trust Delta. I would never fly Delta again, because this experience has been horrific, and their customer care was not good, and we felt completely abandoned at Tampa Airport. So this is a warning. We will update you. Quick check-in for you. We are about 3 AM over the Atlantic. BA have been incredible. I will do a full video for you. Yeah, this is just a little update to let you know thoughts mid-flight based on what we've experienced. We will definitely fly BA again. I'm checking in from the bathroom of this BA flight to let you know, they've been so good. Delta on the other hand, wow, watch this space. Not much good to say about that. So we've arrived, we're in Heathrow, back in the UK. It was a long journey. And we are now making our way to arrivals and baggage reclaim. And we have so many updates for you. For me, the British Airways flight was pretty alright. I think the girls didn't find it too bad. Did you girls?
Well, I slept most of the time.
Yeah, the girls
slept
slept.
for like 8 hours, and then I was on TV for like 1 hour and 2 minutes.
Yeah, but Daddy did not have a good flight. His in-flight entertainment was not working, and his headphones weren't working. So yeah, he was not a fan.
Oh, and I had a dodgy seat with no leg room.
Oh yeah, so we were behind the exit row seats, which meant that where they had their tray tables stowed in the armrest, we had nothing. We had really limited leg room, even more so than usual. So we were missing half of our leg room. I had a big chunk missing, and then he apparently had even less because he was in the window seat, so he was already missing that bit that you miss next to the window, and then he was also missing the tray table bit. So yeah, really bad all round for Daddy. He missed a lot. So yeah, we've got, as I said, lots of updates, but I can't fault them. I found the cabin crew were so brilliant. They were so personable, they were really nice, they were friendly, they couldn't do enough for us. They'd had a lot of people moved on to their flight, and yeah, they were just really... So another update for you on our disastrous saga of travelling home is that we have no luggage. It was last seen in Cincinnati, and we have just been to the British Airways desk and been given a tag and told that we can expect to see our luggage in the next 48 to 72 hours delivered to our home address. Fingers crossed. All my jewellery was in there. Quite a lot of stuff was in there, all our clothes, my makeup. So this is the face you're going to see for the foreseeable future. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff in there that we are not going to see again for a while. So yeah, not feeling too happy about that. guys, so we are in the car finally, and yeah, the bags are lost, they are gone. We have submitted a claim with British Airways, and we spoke to someone at Delta, and they have confirmed that they landed at, where did they land? Heathrow about half an hour ago, and they've got to clear customs, and then they're going to be delivered to our home. So it's not ideal, because you know, things are in there like toiletries and clothes, makeup, as I said, my jewellery. I stupidly put most of my jewellery in there. Yeah, just things that we would normally need for the day-to-day that we're just going to have to go without. And now we're in the car, we're sat on the M25, and traffic's pretty much crawling. We're doing 13 miles an hour, and we've got to go to Cobham and charge the car for a bit before we can even really get on the way. So this has been a travel day. Cannot fault the staff on British Airways, I know I've already said it, but they were really good. Really bright and chirpy crew. Just haven't had a cabin crew like that for a while. So really great crew today. And obviously it's not that we don't always get them. I just feel that sometimes Virgin are holding themselves to a standard where they then don't just sort of stand around and chat with you, whereas the girls on the British Airways flight were really happy to just stand around and have a chat, and that was really nice. It was just a nice touch, and we had a proper chat, just added a bit of a nice touch.
So after about 3 days, we finally received our luggage. I'll be honest and say that the first thing I did was tear open all the bags in the hallway, just to be sure that my jewellery was still in there, and you'll be pleased to know that everything was where it was supposed to be. Unfortunately, a few items of clothing didn't make it back in one piece, as there were some wet items of swimwear thrown into our bags. And obviously, where they had not come home and gone straight into the wash, they had gone a bit mouldy and they had to be thrown in the bin. I'm not entirely convinced that my contact lens solution hasn't perished, because I have subsequently had a bit of an irritated eye since using that. So I'm not entirely sure how they store the bags. As you'll see from some of the screenshots that I've placed, I just thought I'd include some of our boarding passes and some of the conversations that we had back and forth with the Delta agents. It honestly was such a hellish journey. It's bad enough having accessibility issues. And obviously some of ours, as you'll be aware, are due to neurodiversity and also physical disability. So having those cumulative with then this massive disruption to our plans really did make things quite upsetting for us on the day. We had no idea what was going on. The communication was really poor. Outside of a text telling us, oh, your flight's been delayed, there was nobody there on the ground to help us. They then booked us onto the wrong flights. They then weren't able to get us back onto any type of reasonable flight. We were sat at Tampa airport for, I feel like I want to say 6 or 7 hours to begin with. Then we got on our flights over to Cincinnati, where we had to wait for another 3 or 4 hours, possibly 5 hours, before we eventually got on the British Airways flight. And the only positive part of the day was the British Airways flight, only to then discover after the reassurances that our bags had been lost. And then we got fined for being late to pick up our car. So yeah, it was a real welcome sight to get back home when we did. And we all had to take an extra day off work. So what a travel day.